Ayy, this ain't a drill. Only time I playing is on the field. And when I'm on the field, no, I got mad skills. And you know we bout to eat this a fast meal. Y'all gotta pay for this heat like a gas bill. We keep on coming back, so yeah, they mad still. 716 make them pay with some bad bills. Red, white, and blue like Superman, so you know we eating at the Super Bowl. Kill the competition, set up the funeral. Josh Allen catching all the shots you go for. We callin' blitz. Ready to start, we ain't calling no quits. I'm the #1 draft pick. A lot of y'all talk, but I ain't hearing it. Only listen to Keyshawn and niggas talk about the Bills dominating on the field. All our players got them skills. Buffalo don't make a kill when we talk about the Bills dominating on the field, and our players got them skills. Buffalo won't make a kill.
What's going on? Welcome back to another live episode of the Postpodiumpodcast, home of the all truth, no sodium takes. I am your co-host Aramis.
We back. We back.
Did you tap the sunglasses?
We back. Yeah, I tapped the sunglasses. See, I had to change my outfit because we're just gonna let him cook. Just gonna let him cook. No, not James cook. He ain't do anything. James is chilling.
Okay.
But we gonna let him cook because everybody's upset today.
Why?
Oh, little trade action out there. Why could it be us? Oh God, we're done. Okay, so
yep. We'll
get into that. I'm sure you wanted to about face and kind of get into that a little bit. But the sky is not falling. It's not.
As you can see, we are dealing with some technical difficulties right now. We got this standby at the top of the screen there. Just ignore that.
No, that's because I got to go to the airport later, and that's how we fly when we use our minute. We go standby. So I mean, I thought about changing my name to standby, but we haven't solidified that yet. Yeah. So what's happening? How was your last week?
Yeah, I would be lying if I didn't say that it wasn't more stressful without the show.
Really?
Like this is a reprieve for me. Like I get to be here. I get to just talk ball and laugh, and I ain't got to worry about the world. Last week it was just
like,
nothing but the world.
Like
now, in all seriousness, though, that last weekend was really nice. I got to hang out with the family. I got to do some really cool things. Cool. You know what I mean? But the work week, obviously, hectic. If I don't get an opportunity to step away for a minute and think about some different things. But man, what a like crazy 2 weeks it's been. We get the press conferences from the head coach and the defensive coordinator. And then now today, like, this is like the perfect opportunity to talk about both the trades that happened today. I think that's where we should start first, right? Because I think that's pretty much, the freshest thing on everybody's brain. So let's start with the Myles Garrett trade. I mean, where on the Richter scale for you does this land as a Bills fan? Does this not even affect the Bills? Should this be considered a loss for the Bills? Should it be considered a win for the Bills because he's out of the division? What are your thoughts?
I'm glad you asked. As you can see, I have eyewear on right now because there's a certain person that is known as Triple B, the Big Baller Bean.
Big Baller Bean.
And the first thing that comes to mind when you think about the Myles Garrett trade is, why couldn't we do it? Why is it not us? Why are we always the bridesmaid but never the bride, or however it goes? Let me tell you why. The reason why is because of the management of the cap in years past. That's one of the reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Reason number two is who you going to trade? Who ups Jared Verse? Who ups Jared Verse?
Yeah, you can't.
That's the thing.
Greg Rousseau, maybe?
I mean, he has a potential, but if you're talking about,
he's definitely not as young as Jared Verse.
Well, that and he just kind of signed his contract.
Yeah.
Verse is on a rookie contract still. He's got 3 years left.
3 years left, yeah.
So that's very enticing.
Very
yeah. My man texted me earlier and he said, I forget exactly how he said it, but in essence, what he said to me was, this is a win for Cleveland and the Rams have lost their mind. I said, no. I said, think about what they did when they won the Super Bowl with Von Miller. They were just in the NFC Championship last year. They just lost to the eventual Super Bowl champions. Why are they getting Jared Verse out of there and bringing in Myles Garrett? Because they want to win now.
Right.
They don't care about later. They were this close. They say, if we had that piece right there, not the potential of Jared Verse, if we had that right now, we would have won last year. So the fact that we didn't really do anything different than what we have last year, we're running it back. We're kicking the door in.
kicking at the door. Be clear. Be clear. Kicking at the door.
No, they're you know what? Let me take it off because they're actually kicking the door in.
Very true.
While we're kicking at the door. But this isn't a bash on the team of Fair State, but this is why when people call us armchair quarterback or armchair GM, when they call us, you don't know this, you don't know that, but now the chickens have come home to roost yet again. If I don't know anything else about any other NFL team in this league, I can tell you the Bills are not doing well with the salary cap. Everybody says, well, we got $10 million. No, we don't. That's the top 51.
Yep.
Right now, we're at negative $26 million in cap jail. We're in cap jail right now once the 53. Obviously, you're going to cut people, but that $10 million is not really real. Let's rewind that and go to what the Rams have before they traded for Myles Garrett. They're sitting at $21 million. $21 million with, I think it's $8 million after they cut down to the negative $8 million after they cut down to the the 53.
Mm-hmm.
So $10 million, $21 million. And let me ask you, who do you think made all the free agent moves this year? The Bills. The Bills signed 14 free agents this year. 14. The Rams signed 5.
Yep.
But what people don't realize is the Bills have told you time and time again, we're trying to build depth. Your depth should be built by the players on your team.
Right. The players that you've drafted for the last 8 years should be part of your depth already.
That should be your depth. So I mean, if we're talking about a team that keeps drafting, trying to keep the starters, the entrenched starters in position, you're not doing anything. You're trying to get better on the back end. So a starter has to get hurt. Then we find a gem like a Terrell Shavers or somebody like that we've already had. And I think that's tough. That's tough. Trust me. I know. Jared Verse is better than
Rousseau.
Yeah, we know that. But think about it. Let me ask you, who do you put in that position? What player do we have that you put in that position to be laughed at by the Rams when you say, hey, we got a first, we got a third, we got a second. What you looking at? Okay, they offered us Jared Verse. Buffalo, who you got? GMs out there, who do you say?
We got Ed Oliver.
Yeah, and they're like, how much does he cost?
Well, he's in the last year of his contract.
He's in the last year of his contract.
That could be worth something.
Yeah, but when you're hearing about Jared Verse, 25 years old or whatever the case may be,
rookie contract,
and Ed Oliver,
you can't beat that.
Yeah, you can't beat that. So it's
unless you're going to give up, multiple picks to go with that. Like if you had Ed Oliver and a first and a second next year, I think that. Well, hold on, I don't even know what picks the Rams gave up. Let me look at this real quick.
I know it was a first, a second, and a third, and 28, I believe.
Okay, a 2027 first round pick, a 2028 second round pick, and a 2029 third round pick. So 1, 2, and 3 in respective consecutive years, basically. Honestly, that's a really good deal.
Yeah.
I would have done that. Like if it had been Ed Oliver and maybe a 2027 first round pick, a 2028 second round pick, and a 2028, fifth. Like do the deed.
Yeah.
Do the deed. Yeah.
I mean, as much as I was like, I don't really want Myles Garrett, it's like, okay, if you're in a position to get him, why not? The sky is not falling for me because we don't have him. The sky is not falling for me because he's out of the, he's on the Super Bowl contending. Because guess what? I'm not going to say the phrase that Joe Brady said, but Myles Garrett only he's faced Josh Allen 3 times. He's only got a sack and a half against Josh Allen. Mm-hmm. Josh Allen's averaged 200 yards a game passing when he plays against Cleveland, when Myles Garrett is on the field. Yeah. So fine. It's not like I'm trembling. I'm not afraid. My life is not falling apart because he's there. Mm-hmm. It just means that Joe Brady, the offensive guru now, the offensive guy and head coach, has to do his homework. He has to get excited. He has to get exciting about it. He has to get sexy with it. And you can't just go out there and put the ball down and run. But this is my thing. The Bills don't seem to care about that kind of player.
Nope.
With McDermott, if you would have gave McDermott, Darius Slay, and Myles Garrett, do you think we'd be sitting here talking about Joe Brady right now? No, we wouldn't. Mm-mm. But they won't do that stuff. Instead, they're going to give you Bradley Chubb. And that's why when I said, fine, that's cool. Bradley Chubb's okay. But what does he do that Greg Rousseau can't do? what does he do? We need that compliment that he's not. And so I'm still sitting here wondering what the defense is going to look like. Can it look good? I'm sure. I have no faith. I have no lost faith that this defense is going to be bad. Right. I actually feel like the players that a lot of people are not giving credit to are going to be good in this defense. I still feel like that. Yeah. So I'm not bashing on the defense, but what I'm saying to people that really want to know why we can't do these things, why we can't pick these players, why we can't acquire these kind of assets, just look at why. Because if it's not the money, it's our GM is unwillingness to give it the picks, or is we don't have the capital outside of the draft picks handy. We just got players that are okay, but we don't have enough.
Yeah, I think when you consider the value of a player like a Myles Garrett and you're trying to decide his value relative to your team, you have to ask yourself, okay, there's a thought process in the entrepreneurial field that it is the very mindset that separates an entrepreneur from somebody who's not, or somebody who chooses not to be. And that mindset is simply, what can I gain from this situation? Whereas other people may think, what am I losing in this situation? Mm-hmm. Right. So in terms of investing, right. If I come up to somebody who is not entrepreneurial minded, and I say to you, hey, I got a great investment opportunity for you. The initial upfront investment is $10,000, but if you invest that $10,000, you're set to make 20 the next year, and then 30 the next year after that, and then 50 the next year after that, and then in 5 years you'll be making $100,000 a year for an initial investment of $10,000. An entrepreneur would say, well, if I can do that with this one investment, are there other investments like this that I can scale and do multiple of these and be making $500,000 in 5 years? Mm-hmm. Whereas somebody who's not entrepreneurial minded would say $10,000. No, not if I'm not making 5 times that the very next day. Because people who are not entrepreneurial minded look at $10,000 like that's a lot of money that I'm losing up front. See, they don't think about the back end benefit of it, right? Which is why you make investments in the first place if you're smart. And players like Myles Garrett are investments. It's the reason why it's smart money to get as many of those players on your team as you can. It's the reason why the Rams have done it. Think about the first time the Rams won the Super Bowl with Matt Stafford. They not only traded to get Matt Stafford, but they traded for Von Miller the same year to add to a defensive line with Aaron Donald. And then, oh, by the way, we signed Odell Beckham Jr. and got him on the squad. And it just so paid off because Robert Woods went down that same season.
Didn't they have Leonard Floyd too?
Yes.
See?
They had Leonard Floyd on that defensive line. So I'm looking at the Rams defensive depth chart right now. Poona Ford's their nose tackle. Kobe Turner's he would be their 3 technique. Braden Fisk, who's another really good defensive lineman for them, is going to be their 4 eyes, so to speak, right? And then you got Landman, who came on as a great linebacker last year. You add into that fold Myles Garrett, with Byron Young, who's going to be their pass rusher on the other side. They signed Jalen Watson this year, and they traded for Trent McDuffie. And you add into that the 3 safeties that they had last year, which were amazing, game-breaking, playmaking safeties for them last year in Cam Curl, Cam Kitchens, and Quentin Lake. That secondary is stacked now. Yeah. You add on to that secondary a great elite game-changing pass rusher like a Myles Garrett. That's a smart investment. Why? Because now it's not just we invested in Myles Garrett and we don't have anybody to cover. We have a complete defense now that can do a lot of different things.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Their depth is different than our depth.
Well, yeah, and I would say in terms of the context or the definition of depth, the Bills' version of depth is we want 2 to 3 to maybe 4 players at every position that can step in if somebody gets hurt and hold the position and not lose us the game.
Mm-hmm.
From that context, yeah, we got plenty of guys that can step in and not lose us the game, right? Those would be considered your high floor players, guys that are not going to lose you the game. Fine. But the depth from the Rams standpoint is how heavily can we load our starter pool so that when we step on the field, our chances of executing against another team's best players is higher.
It's like, watch them fight. That's the thing. You know, we talk about depth in the competitions and there's different levels of competition.
Thank you.
You know, iron sharpens iron. That's cool. But think about what this defense would be. And like I said, again, I'm not going to about face and say the defense is trash. But what I'm saying is think about this defense where we don't have to worry about, are we doing 3-4? 2-4-5? What are we doing? We know it's a 4-3 at this point.
Right.
And Jim Leonard would be a fool to say, I can't run a 4-3 with this kind of talent. Because you've already seen what Greg Rousseau can do. He's one of he probably is the cornerstone of our defense right now. You know, Ed Oliver is the second. If he can stay healthy, he can usurp Rousseau as a cornerstone. But right now, you have Deion Walker, who would be a great one-ish tech next to Ed Oliver. You got Bookmarks and Rousseau. You got Garrett here. You got Benford. You got Hairston. You got CJ, you got Bishop. Look, I'm smiling. They're twinkling in my ear. It's crazy because you think about the stackage, and I didn't even mention the linebackers. I didn't mention the linebackers. Just think about what happens with the linebackers when you got Myles Garrett being double teamed. Deion Walker will be double teamed this year. Ed Oliver is healthy. So guess who's going to double team him? You ran out of people.
Right. Your
linebackers are free. They're free. And hell, Dorian Williams, go ahead. Blitz. Really screw them up.
Yep.
And I bet you Hairston, Benford, Alford / Kilgore / whoever you want to enter, and the two safeties would be smiling all day long. Because just whatever you want. The quarterback's 3-step drop. I can read them. I'm going, and it's mine. But instead, now we're not doing read and react anymore because McDermott's going, that's his thing. But we still got the same players that read and react.
Yep. But we want to set those guys loose. We want to set read and react guys loose to just play free and just react. Don't. And I get to some degree, you know, every NFL player is reading something, sure, but when you're used to playing a certain style of football, and then you have to immediately the very next year switch completely away from what you've been doing for almost a decade to now. We're going to be an attacking defense. We're going to quick read everything and just go. Everything is downhill. Everything is attack. Everything is matchup based now. It is exactly why I think, and we can kind of transition into the press conference with Jim Leonard for this. I think it's exactly why Joe Brady and just about every other coach that you've heard talk about this team this year has kind of put into place this lowered expectation of guys are going to need, you know, take time to develop. We're going to take time to figure out who can do what. We're going to take time to figure out what we have in this locker room and what guys are comfortable with and all of the language that I just said just now is all language that has been used by the coaches in these press conferences. Go watch them.
Yeah. And it's funny. Weston said, he said,
get lower.
Right. Nope. Up top. Right there. Nope. Yep. Up one.
Oh, my bad. Oh,
yep. It's funny you say it because that's why I had to switch my wardrobe. Because, like I said, this ain't about James Cook. This is about Triple B. And it's funny because Weston knows his team is. He can laugh at us because his team is good. His team is won.
His team is fine.
You know,
that's why he likes Brandon Beane so much, because he ain't got to be a fan of the team.
Now you send him over there. Yeah. I'm like, what's that?
Yo,
what's going with it?
Right. Trade Brandon Beane for Brett Beach right now, and I guarantee Weston is like, oh, hell no.
Fuck, you mean?
Right.
People like, burn the island down. You know, no. I'm on the island now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, just so you guys know, right now I'm good, but I almost had a medical emergency in the gym early. I think I overdid at the end, and I started to tunnel. And I'm like, oh, God, I got to sit down. Dude, wasn't no joke. So I'm like, I need to get a lot of this in me because I don't know if I overheated or what, but I was like, young boy was looking at me. I said,
nah, I know what it is. I know what it is. You don't be sleeping during the week.
No, I don't.
I don't. That's exactly listen, I'm telling you from my own personal experience. It be times where I'm on the road and all of a sudden I realize that my eyes were closed. Like that's a real thing now. If you don't be getting sleep like that.
I was doing today was chest and tries day, and I said, you know what? Stop being a punk. T said your legs getting small. Get on that leg sled. I did like 6 sets of 20 on the leg sled, and I got up and I was like, uh-oh. Yeah. And I gotta get over there, but I need to sit on the floor here.
Just another minute.
Just
another minute.
I don't want to fall that far. But yeah, no. So if you see me swigging, I doubt I'll have to go to the bathroom, but I need to get this inside of me real fast. Pause. Don't care. The show will be stopped if I don't drink enough water.
Really quick, the call-in line is the link is in the chat now. If you want to call in and give us your thoughts on the Myles Garrett trade, please feel free to do so. But yeah, so I was
gonna say. Call line brought to you by High Mike High Tech. Peeps, stop letting your old tech become furniture. The computer collecting dust, the TV holding up another TV, the console begging for one last adventure. High Mike High Tech is a fix-it wizard that you've been waiting for. Let him know that we're sending you to him. Because if you call him, he'll call us, and he'll stop talking about McDermott for president. Please let him know that's never going to happen.
Ooh, that is a major benefit to all this. I did not realize that was a key factor in the deal.
Yeah.
Wow, we got to get that going.
Got to get it going.
Please, we need that. Because he switched. What did he switch from? He switched from McDermott for president to now Bean for president.
Yeah, he's just trolling at this point.
But yeah, so I think the timeline conversation though is a very big deal, especially when you take into consideration what happened today.
Mm-hmm.
You got AJ Brown that got traded for, and AJ Brown's trade a 1st round and a 5th round pick. You couldn't give that up for the sake of what? Trusting in Joshua Palmer. You know what I'm saying? I just look.
AJ Brown or DJ Moore. I think that's what it comes down to.
No, you mean you
AJ Brown or DJ Moore? I think that's the gotcha.
I'm talking about both.
Yeah, I don't know how they make that happen with where we are, but I mean, if you could do both, cool. Yeah. I just think AJ Brown or DJ Moore, and DJ Moore next year is $27 million against the cap. I think it is, and the year after that is
29.
Yeah, so that's another thing that goes into why this Myles Garrett conversation is happening.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to get too deep in the weeds of AJ Brown's contract.
Okay.
I'm simply saying I think when you look at the value of what the Rams have gotten this year in trading for Trent McDuffie and trading for Myles Garrett and what they gave up to get these players and the position that they are now in as a team going up against the competition that they're going up against,
mm-hmm.
The reason you load up like this is because everybody else around you is good,
mm-hmm.
right? So to some degree, the Bills have to believe that what they have right now is as good, if not better, than the competition around them.
Right.
And the real time live view of that is you're better than 75% of your own division. That's pretty much it. Every other team in pretty much every other division, I would say 3 out of 4 teams in every division can challenge you for a playoff spot. Not even, you know what I'm saying? Like for a playoff spot, these AFC teams ain't playing no more. They got coaches and they got quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's no longer a confidence that the Bills can have in, we're fine. Like, nobody, like, sure. Okay. Nobody may keep us out of the playoffs, but these teams can surely kick us out of the playoffs. The Broncos proved that. The Bengals proved that. It doesn't have to be the Chiefs.
I think the Bills, this is where I am with this right now. I think the Bills need to operate as if there is no Josh Allen.
Yes.
There's no James Cook. There's no Khalil Shakir. There's no Greg Rousseau or Oliver. Every year, you need to figure out how to win without those 5 names. The 6th name, you want to add Christian Benford.
Yep.
Or if you want to add Cole Bishop. The list keeps going and going and going. How do you win without those players?
Yep.
Because that's how you win in this league. Not kicking and doing with these guys because we got Josh. Josh is 30 years old. Guess what? There's only been, I think, 7 quarterbacks in the history of NFL that won Super Bowl in their year 30 season.
Mm-hmm.
I think, let's see, I have it here. 4 quarterbacks won at exactly 30. Only Terry Bradshaw was an all-pro. So what's that mean? Your quarterback's not going to win it by himself.
Right.
It's only happened one time in 73 or whatever that is. That's a long time ago. Sorry, Mom. But the thing is, when you're putting all your eggs in that Josh Allen basket, you're doing it as a fan, which is fine for fans. But when your front office says this, that's a problem for me. When they operate in that manner, that's a problem for me. When they operate in the vein that we have these positions checked off, but what about the complementary pieces? You went out and you said, okay, we got Josh, we're going to get him a target, DJ Moore. Cool. I want more. We need more because you have a tight end that you keep giving pay cuts to who keeps taking them. Another tight end that you're not sure if you want him on your team after next year. You have defense that's in flux because you're hoping the defensive scheme is now changed and better. But running back, we going with Ray Davis or we going with Ty Johnson who's in this last year? What are we doing? Wide receiver after DJ Moore and Khalil Shakir, what are we waiting for? Keon Coleman?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is fine if this is what you want to do, but I don't think it is. As a fan, I don't think you're okay with that.
Right.
Fans are trying to oust, as Nate calls skinny legs. Fans are trying to oust. I've seen Keon Coleman in Ravens jersey. I've seen him in Chiefs jersey. I've seen him in Dolphins jersey. I've seen him in every jersey known to man. They're trying to get rid of this man. So then what? You gonna go ahead and put in there White Steve? You gonna put in there who else do we have? Tyrell Shavers, who I'm not sure he really ever got hurt. Have we seen this man? He's always walking around.
Listen, I know Madden is just a game, but I was recording the first episode of gameplay for the new Madden season like we did last year, right? And I'm playing a preseason game, and we get to the backups. I'm playing with Kyle Allen, and it's Keon Coleman, and I think Skylar Bell were my two outside receivers at that point, right? And I'm trying to beat the Cardinals backups with those receivers. And I'm slowly realizing in my mind, if something, God forbid, if something happens to DJ Moore and we're back at square one where Dalton Kincaid has to be the guy that we rely upon to make plays, we're shot. Mm-hmm. We're shot because we went through that last year. And guess what? Either his health got him or the other team figured out how to take him away. Yep. It was one of the two. Yep. You cannot build this offense and build Josh's opportunities on DJ Moore, one guy, and then the next best guy is a guy that you really can't rely upon. And that has showed you now for 3 or 4 years that you cannot rely on him. Yeah. And then after that is Khalil Shakir, a guy that whoever was in charge of designing and controlling and dictating the offense decided that Khalil Shakir was an underneath receiver only. Right. You know what I'm saying? Really quick, I want to get to this comment from Roy here because he seems to think I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna read you the teams from all these divisions, right? We know the AFC North: Baltimore Ravens, Cincinnati Bengals, Cleveland Browns, and Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers made the playoffs last year. You could do whatever you want with that, but the Bengals are going to be good this year. The Steelers may be better on offense this year with Mike McCarthy calling the offense. We don't know, but we know the Ravens are good, and we know the Browns almost beat the Bills last year. So then after that, we got the AFC South. We got Texans, Colts, and Jaguars. That's 3 out of 4. Then we got the AFC West, Broncos, Chiefs, and Chargers. That's 3 out of 4. I don't just say this stuff just for no reason. You cannot believe me if you want, which is Roy's shtick at this point of not believing anything we say. That's fine. But I don't just say this stuff for no reason. But to the point about where the Bills are in terms of if something happens to DJ Moore, what happened to the defense last year when Ed Oliver got hurt? We were begging and pleading and couldn't wait for Mike Hoyt to get on the field, and then he made us forget about Ed Oliver for all of one game and a quarter.
You're like, yeah,
1.5 games. He made us forget about
Ed
Oliver.
91. Right? Oh, what happened to him?
Then he goes down. Now we're really screwed because we have no playmakers on defense from a rush standpoint, and Christian Benford is so disciplined that he's really only going to make a play 1 every 5 to 6 games. That's just his, and it could be what he was asked to do in that defense. We're going to see if it's different this year. We're going to see if he can cover a little bit better in man when he has to play more of it. This is going to be the year to find out. I hope Let me be clear when I say this. Somebody tag and record this and make sure you're clear about what I'm saying when I say it.
Tommy did it. He's keeping receipts.
Okay. I hope Christian Benford is a top 10 corner statistically again after being asked to play man majority of the time.
We got to clip that because somebody say, y'all said. Anyway, but yeah.
I said statistically, that's what he was last time he was top 10 statistically. Okay.
I know. No,
I'll give you that.
And the thing about your point about DJ Moore, what really gets me is the growing pains comment. And it's not that he's not going to be fine in the offense, but what that tells me is everybody thought, oh, Joe Brady without McDermott, Carolina. Mm-hmm. DJ Moore thought Carolina too. No, they're not doing Carolina things. Now, what I do like is when Brady said he's telling Josh not to throw the ball to DJ Moore as his first read because you don't want him to get locked onto that one person. Yep. But that's also telling you everybody still eats. Because by the time DJ Moore is open, which is going to be early, he's going to be covered because Josh is reading from opposite end.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, it can hurt and it can help. Now, what somebody's going to say in the comments is, what's going to change when you get to the live bullets? Okay. I'm going to say this again, and T hates how I say this. Practice makes permanent. It doesn't make perfect. It makes permanent. You keep doing something over and over and over and over. Your body says, your mind says, this is what I'm doing. You say, Moore, you're my number 3. Even I know you're good. You're over there. You're my bailout. But let me see what Keon got. Let me see what Khalil got. Let me see what James got. Mm-hmm. They got nothing. DJ, he's gone. I got to run again. I'm 30 years old. Got a kid keeping me up all night. What you just say about no sleep? It don't bode well. You got to let the guys practice the way they're going to play. And DJ Moore's going to be the number 1 read. That's what you're paying him for.
Exactly. He should be your number 1 read every time. And truly, it's not a detriment to the team. Think about when Stephon Diggs was here. He was the first read every time, and it worked. It worked. And you know what that does when that guy is the first read every single time? You know what it does is it opens things up for everybody else. I'm tired of saying this. I really am, because the Bills seem to, and really this entire, process of thinking that we're smarter and ahead of the curve than any other team in the league it's been something that's been consistent since Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane have been here. Mm-hmm. This mentality of, we're doing things different from everybody else because we're ahead. We're thinking a year ahead. And I have some very interesting research on that when we get to Terry Gray also. But I think it's been shown now that as much as the Bills believe truly in their hearts that they are ahead of all these other teams in terms of salary cap, in terms of schemes, in terms of defensive adjustments and all that kind of stuff, when it gets to the playoffs and it's time to really show how far ahead of these guys you are, you can't. Yeah. And that's the part that causes, because Tommy's over here freaking out.
And I was going to address that. He said you got receipts, so you can go toe to toe. Okay, let me ask you this, Tommy. Josh Allen gets hurt. What happens?
The team turns to hot garbage.
DJ Moore gets hurt. What happens?
The team turns to hot garbage.
James Cook gets hurt. You'll figure something out.
Ty Johnson and Raiders.
You'll figure something out, but it won't be easy.
Right.
I'm still saying 13-4, but I don't know how and I don't know where. I can tell you, I feel like because Josh Allen's not going to get hurt. Mm-hmm. The same with LeBron, 42 years old, never really been hurt. Mm-hmm. Teams have been hot garbage around him, but he carries it.
They're going to be allowed to throw the ball more, which should create more success.
Yep. And we're going to act like this conversation never happened.
Yep.
That's the thing. Why is it got to be hard? Just because it happened doesn't mean it's got to be hard.
Yep.
Why is it that it's fair to everybody's favorite, Josh Allen? It's not fair to him to go out there and say, well, I got to run from life and then throw it. Because all the highlight reel plays that you guys love is another chance for him to get seriously injured. Let him be boring. He hates being boring, but let him be boring. Say, Josh, you had 3 guys open. Why'd you run? Enough times, you're like, oh, well, I'll probably look at him then.
Yeah.
I'm not used to him being open, but you got to get guys to get open first.
Yep.
And this is the thing when you're 30, reward a guy like that for $5 million. Okay, so let's make football really easy for him. Let's make it real easy for him. People talk about how behind the scenes he's probably no, because you would know. Vic Carucci would say something. Sal Capaccio would leak something. Somebody would leak something that inadvertently. And that's the thing that we have to understand. Like I said before, Josh is cool with it. He's fine with
it. Tommy, what are you, bro? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? So he's saying if any elite QB goes down, they're screwed. Joe Flacco came in and was winning games with the Bengals last year. Like, they held it down enough. All the backups held it down enough so that when Joe Burrow got back, they were one game short of making the playoffs last year. They were one game short of making the playoffs last year. If they had won that final game, they make playoffs. If I'm not mistaken, right? If you look at the Patriots back when Matt Castle played, they went 10-6 that season with Matt Castle.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not every team. No, some teams actually figure it out.
But see, that's the difference between Bills fans and other teams' fans.
Right.
You know, it's always Josh Allen goes, we're screwed anyway. So what difference does it make? I mean, I swore that, who was it? PJ, whoever it was behind Lamar. They actually had him thinking, they made him think he was about something because he was winning a couple of games with the team.
Jacoby Brissett for the Cardinals was winning more games last season than they did with Kyler Murray.
Yeah. And the thing
is, rare.
No,
it's not.
I mean, the thing is, you're not going forward at the start. That's okay. So let's just acquiesce and say, screw the team, Josh Allen. Cool.
Yeah. Like, just trade him then. If it's like that, if it's really like that, and we're of this mindset that it's either going to be Josh Allen or nothing, then I'd rather trade him away. I'd rather get what I can and just build a team without him so that we can really see how good this team is. And for me, that, like, I won't shed a tear. I wouldn't even be mad because at the end of the day, we've already wasted a decade of his career. We've already done it. The best opportunity he had was 2020 and 2021.
Mm-hmm.
That was his best shot. We haven't been that close since. And I'm not even counting 2024 because that team really had no business making it as far as they did. If you look at the record and you look at the teams that we faced that season, it was the sixth, somewhere between the 6th and the 8th easiest schedule in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
We should have made it that far with as bad a team as we had that year, running the ball as much as we did and throwing nothing but tunnel screens.
Yeah, I mean, I have to highlight Steve's comment. You know, I know everybody thinks we love being negative, but I don't like being negative. It's going to that place because this is a good question. How do the Rams have better cap?
Yep.
Even paying an elite quarterback. How do the Rams have so many stars while drafting late? How are the Rams Super Bowl favorites again? But being as a great GM and this roster is okay. That's the point. The point is, I understand teams are going to be at a deficit if they don't have their quarterback. I get that. But your defense is hemorrhaging. Your offense is not doing any favors for the quarterback that comes in Josh Allen's behalf. Because Josh Allen doesn't play, guess what? We don't have to worry about wide receivers because they don't have a quarterback in Kyle Allen that can get him the ball. I'm not worried about him. We know what he is. He's a 30-plus-year-old journeyman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now we can key in on James Cook and make Kyle Allen throw 30, 40 times a game. That's not a recipe for success. You know better than when he says it. You know better. You know better. He was making a point. He didn't mean any of that.
I was truly like, I'm not gonna lie. I probably wouldn't cry if we traded Josh, but I don't want to do it.
Believe it or not, I probably would.
You probably would.
I probably would. As much as I say,
the end of an era for the Buffalo Bills.
The thing is, like all those years where we went through Trent, we went through Tyrod, and what I always say, we were friends the whole time. I was almost ready to self-harm.
Yeah.
With how boring these quarterbacks, how garbage and limited these quarterbacks were. Now we got a guy that's multifaceted. I'm sorry I don't give him a lot of credit because we know he's good.
Right.
But what I'm harping on is the things that we can make better.
Exactly.
That's what I'm harping on.
But here's why, because and this is, I think this is the part. So this has been Tommy's argument for a while. He says we are a good team. We have proven this season after season. The reason we didn't win the Super Bowl is no longer here. That Sean McDermott was part of the reason we didn't win the Super Bowl. Let's not put it all on Sean like he was the only reason we weren't getting there. But here's the point, and this is why I say they can hate us, but they will never debate us, because at the end of the day, as much as we want to say, oh, we're a good team, is the point of the Buffalo Bills to be a good team, or is it to win a Super Bowl?
Let's ask the Rams.
Just ask the damn Rams. The Rams have $16 million in cap space right now. The Bills are 10, barely 10.
Mm-hmm.
And that's with Myles Garrett on their books.
I'm sorry, but that got me.
What is it?
True. But I mean, the point of the matter is basically what he's trying to tell you is, like he said, he wouldn't cry. I probably would, because then we have to worry about Kyle Allen. But I mean, the fact of the matter is, the Rams said, we're good. We got to the NFC Championship. But what did we do wrong? We need more of a pass rush. We got to be more disruptive up front.
Yep.
Let's do it.
We need better corners. We need somebody to take away JSN.
Like the hell with 28, hell with 29. Because they did this already with Vaughn. They won, blew it up, and they said, you know what? We'll do it again. Same coach.
Yep. We'll just keep drafting at the back of, like think about the players that this team has on their roster right now. The most recent first round pick that they have is Jared Verse. Before that, they went 3 years without a first round pick and was still able to find a Quentin Lake and was still able to find some of these other players that they have on their defense, Braden Fisk and some of these other guys. Like, if you know what you're doing in the draft and you have a coaching staff that knows how to enhance players or build schemes that enhance players, and you can get that done consistently, then it doesn't matter if you give up the draft picks. But if you're a team that relies heavily on drafting well, because you know damn well you're not going to find those guys in free agency, and you don't want to pay those guys in free agency, and you don't want to give up what it takes to get a guy like a Myles Garrett or a Max Crosby, then you damn well better draft better. Like, I don't care if the Bills wanted to be a draft-only team like the Steelers and never trade for anybody and never sign big-time free agents, whatever. Like, if that's what you want to be that type of old-school Rust Belt team, fine. But you damn well better be much better than you've been in the draft. You better be able to produce guys like a James Harrison, or find guys like a James Harrison as an undrafted free agent. You better be able to draft guys in the 6th round like Antonio Brown. You better be able to draft guys like George Pickens. You better be able to draft guys like some of the other great linebackers and defensive linemen that they've had. You better be able to draft TJ Watt. Like, it's not rocket science.
And let me catch you, because they're going to try to get you. James Harrison, who knew? Tom Brady, who knew? That's not the point.
Exactly.
James Harrison wouldn't have been James Harrison on 32 teams.
Exactly.
1 team, 2 teams, maybe 3 teams says, you know what? That's the skill set we need to crack this sucker open.
Yep.
That's what we need. The Bills don't have the identity. Say, you know what? We're one player away. We're one thing away. This one thing. They've been searching for this one thing forever because they can't figure out that's not what they're supposed to be getting. Greg Rousseau, Boogie Basham, Landon Jackson, Epinesa. These are the same kind of players, and it hasn't worked yet.
Yep.
Time to switch it up a little. One of them might have been all right, but maybe, just maybe, you need a complement on the other side. Maybe just maybe you need another defensive tackle. Maybe just maybe you need another safety or cornerback or something. Maybe just maybe.
Okay, these next 2 comments here, like, Vu, what did Buffalo say? Obviously, Buffalo lied. Like, because what he's saying is, now I like to defend the coach. Like, it's not about what Buffalo, because he's saying, what did the team say about Sean McDermott? What he's saying is, because the Bills fired Sean McDermott, they're saying that Sean McDermott was the problem.
Sure, yeah.
That's if you want to listen to their narrative. That's if you want to believe that they know what the hell they're talking about. Their owner came out and told you by accident that this is win now, that Sean McDermott was the reason they couldn't get over the playoff hump. Then with it, what do? They hire a head coach that is going to take time to progress and grow to a level to even get to where Sean McDermott was. Mm-hmm. Like, what are we talking about? You hired a rookie head coach, and then on top of that, your defensive coordinator just had a press conference trying to tell you, now let's temper expectations, guys, because we got guys that are going to need time to develop, and we got to figure out where guys are going to fit in, and we got to give guys time. They are trying to tell you it is not going to happen this year. Their mentality is, we are building. This is a transition year, but they don't want to say transition year again because they already tried that and it didn't work. Yeah.
What Joe Brady said, respects to the history. This is year 1. He said, "There's not a continuation. This is year 1." He said, "Yeah, it's Mo." And Tommy, we told you we're not mafia.
J-Ham. I wanted a Super Bowl winning offensive coordinator. That's a problem. That's a problem. I mean, I wanted an offensive coordinator that's been destroying the league for the last 3 years. That's a problem. I mean, Clint Kubiak has been doing that. Ben Johnson has been doing that. Ben Johnson is the name I wanted.
I think what it really is, J Ham, cousin Ham. I forgot. I'm not calling you J Ham. It's cousin Ham. I wanted Udinski only because of what I heard about him, about the what do you call it, the commissioner style, whatever they call it, CEO style. I just didn't want a continuation. I think that's why we were starving for Kubiak or Udinski or whatever, because we just didn't want a continuation. And we thought if we got somebody different from outside the organization, somebody that was a true breath of fresh air, because I don't want to hear about how Brady was neutered by McDermott. Because now we got Brady and Bean who are lockstep, but Bean was part of the issue. Like him or not, you got to admit that some of the fault falls on Bean.
Yep.
And maybe not all of it. I'm not going to go there, Tommy and Weston, with the Bean Island stuff, but you got to admit.
That comment right there. It speaks to that comment right there, because what you're saying is Sean McDermott wasn't the only problem, and that's really all we're trying to say.
We've said that. I mean, we've never, and I don't think you've ever heard any of us really say that we wanted McDermott back. We never said. I said it in joke once, but we never said that. But what it is when you get rid of McDermott, we want a full breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
We want a full face front office change. That's what we were looking for.
Here's the difference between, because we got a few people who are saying that Clint Kubiak is a rookie head coach, would have been a rookie head coach too, or he is now. The difference between Clint Kubiak and Joe Brady is Joe Brady has never run an offense consistently that kind of proved itself to be consistently successful in the league. Mm-hmm. He's never had that. He's never had a sustained level of success, even more than 1 year in the league. Like, name the spot in the NFL that he's had a great success in the league. Like, Clint Kubiak won a Super Bowl with freaking Sam Darnold. Mm-hmm. Ben Johnson was getting it done in the NFL and took us to the wire in a 90-point game, almost 100-point game with Jared Goff. Like, when you see offensive coordinators do big time things with quarterbacks that really shouldn't be putting up those kind of numbers, what are we talking about? That's the difference between a Joe Brady and a Clint Kubiak. That's why I don't have an issue hiring a guy like Clint Kubiak. It's really not about the rookie aspect of Joe Brady being the guy. What it is the inconsistency of you saying you want something different so that you can go and win a Super Bowl, and then you turn around and you hire quite possibly one of two of the most unproven guys that were available in the pool. Like, if you were really about getting to a Super Bowl, Daboll was the hire. Yeah. For whatever his history was, because that's a tenured head coach that's been with Josh, that won a lot of games with Josh, that gave you the best opportunity to win a Super Bowl with Josh, and knows a lot of players on this team still, and knows the city of Buffalo and how to run this thing the right way. That would have been the move. Yeah. I said Clint Kubiak because I'm trying to get away from everybody's criticism of Brian Daboll and still get somebody like Ben Johnson. That's why I'm talking about that guy as a difference between what we have and what I would have wanted. But the idea here is to go from Sean McDermott to another guy that's proven. Mm-hmm. And Clint Kubiak is proven. His offense is proven. His ability to coach is proven. We haven't seen that consistently from Joe Brady anywhere except here with Josh Allen. Like, he should have been. Why wasn't Joe Brady able to do it with Sam Darnold in Carolina? We don't have an answer for that. Why wasn't Joe Brady able to do that with where else was Joe Brady? Joe Brady was before he got here. Where else was he?
New Orleans.
Yeah, New Orleans with
Peyton.
Yeah, but they had some pretty bad quarterbacks after Sean Payton. Yeah. I'm just my point is this. Every opportunity that Joe Brady has had in the league to show that his offense can be consistent and be what it needs to be, please don't point to 2024. That MVP season was Josh Allen winning in spite of what he had. When you hear the national pundits talk about that MVP, it's Josh Allen won because look who he's doing it with. Not, oh my God, look at the numbers Josh Allen is putting up, because those numbers were some of the worst in his career, and yet he won an MVP with them. It was more about how many interceptions he didn't throw and the talent he was doing that with.
Clean it up. Yep. So I think people are misconstruing the comments at hand, saying we're not saying that this team is doomed. We're not saying that this team sucks.
Thank you.
And I mean, I saw earlier Tommy said that the roster has been bad for a while. So what does that mean? McDermott's a Hall of Fame coach. So if the roster is bad, then you just said that we've been good for years, seasons upon seasons. So which is it? We've been good because of Josh Allen, James Cook, Khalil Shakir, and spattering, Stephon Diggs. Which, funny enough, how many games did they miss to injury? How many times? How dependable were those guys? Because there was nothing else.
Yep.
After Stephon Diggs, who was a clear cut number 2? Gabe Davis. I mean, come on now. Can it be harder? Yes. But could it be easier? Yes. Like you said earlier, it doesn't have to be so hard. It doesn't have to be Josh Allen or bust. I'm not saying that this team would be a Super Bowl team without Josh Allen. What I'm saying is, who on this team is going to give another team hell if he's not playing? If Khalil Shakir is not playing? If James Cook's not playing? Who's going to give him hell? Who are they going to walk out of here? Who's going to crawl away from the Buffalo Bills stadium? Who's going to crawl away from their own home stadium playing against us if Josh isn't playing? That's the question. So when you talking about how the Bills built it, building depth, building a solid roster of special teamers, make sure we're good on all 3 phases, complimentary, this, that, and blah, blah, blah. What are the Rams doing? We just saw something that said the Ravens had a top, with a bottom 5 wide receiver tandem they voted, I guess it was. Mm-hmm. Which, whatever. But one monkey don't stop no show. They're going to try to get better. We've seen teams try to get better.
Here's the point. Here's the point. Because Tori's saying Brady's offense hummed against Broncos. Josh was the problem more than Brady that game. You guys trying too hard. Here's the point. The Bills for the last 3, maybe 4 years have had, I say the last 3 years, the Bills have had to play perfect football in the playoffs just to compete with the best teams in the playoffs. They've had to play perfect football to get down to the wire with the Chiefs on 2 different occasions. They had to play perfect in the second half against the Ravens to just barely win that game by a dropped pass. They had to have very perfect games against some very, very good teams in the playoffs the last 3 seasons to even have a chance at looking at a Super Bowl. And that Broncos game that you're talking about there, they had to be even more perfect playing in Denver with no receivers, with Josh Allen feeling like he's got the whole thing on his back. Because it wasn't just about them not being able to really get down the field throwing the ball on offense. On offense, it was, oh shoot, by the way, Bo Nix can beat our defense, so we can't rely on us being able to just play conservative and run the ball on offense. We can't afford to do that because they're scoring on us. Yeah. So if they're going to continue to score, this is turning into a shootout now. We're going to have to go all out and throw the ball. Well, guess what? You've shown all season long that, and Josh has shown you that he doesn't believe in the guys that he has around him enough to just be throwing the ball consistently and letting it go. So what happened? He held the ball, had to scramble a few times, which is something he didn't do a lot of during the regular season. Why? Because he didn't want to get hurt, and he got tagged a couple of times. He dropped the ball a couple of times. That stuff is going to happen when you're pressing. Josh didn't have to press during the regular season. Why? Because they're going to get to the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Josh Allen himself is a guaranteed playoff ticket. Mm-hmm. But the point here is, how many times have the Bills had to play perfect just to be good, right? That's not what you want. You don't want the Bills to have to play a perfect game in order to be good. When you had Stephon Diggs, when you had Beasley, when you had Emmanuel Sanders or John Brown on the field, you didn't have to play perfect. Why? Because Stephon Diggs is going to make a play. Cole Beasley was going to make a play. You can hit John Brown down the field and make a play. You had guys that can make plays to where you didn't. The whole game could be crappy, but one great play to Stephon Diggs or Cole Beasley or John, and that's a game changer. It's a wrap. Think about the Rams game where we won at the very last minute, where Stephon Diggs beat Jalen Ramsey in the end zone. Like that we made so many mistakes in that game. I think Josh had a couple of interceptions in that game.
It was tough.
But guess what? We get down there at the end of the game, and we throw that pass to Stephon Diggs, who literally by himself beat Jalen Ramsey to get open. ball game. We win. That's what I'm talking about. We don't have that. We didn't have that before DJ Moore. And that was the problem. That's why Josh wins the MVP, because in crunch time, when the other team is using all of their great players to stop our above average players, who's stepping up beyond that besides Josh Allen and James Cook? You didn't have Ed Oliver to do anything on defense. So like literally all of your playmakers are gone at that point, or negated in some way. Josh gets negated because he didn't have anybody to throw to. Cook gets negated because their offense can score. So now you have to worry about keeping their offense off the field, which means you've got to move the ball and hold on to the ball. You haven't been running consistently well enough to feel comfortable doing that the entire game. So what are you going to do? You got to go with your left hand game at that point. They're not letting you play with your right. You can't do that, though, because you don't have anybody that you can put in that left hand and say, okay, we can rely on this guy. That's the point. When you don't have playmakers that you can rely upon, and you've got to play perfect football, and you don't have an offensive mind that can scheme things up to unlock these I don't want to say no-name players, because we know who they are and we know how great they are, but to the league, they be no-name players. But you want to have an offensive mind that can unlock these guys in that way so that you can at least have a chance.
Yeah, and that's to this point here. Why not big up what we have, except just whine about what everyone else has? Because it shows about this shows on the heels of Myles Garrett just getting traded for peanuts, basically. And it's what are we big upping? What are we big upping? This team, I've said James Cook, I've said Khalil Shakir, I've said DJ Moore, I've said Dawson Knox, I've said Rousseau, I've said Ed Oliver. I even said the whole second. How many secondary members did I mention earlier in the show? Damn near the whole thing, right? But what am I supposed to big up? I can't say anything that I want. I can't talk about pieces that I want.
Obviously not.
I got to love everything about the team at all times. Is that what I'm supposed to do? Because I could just go on Joe Marino's show and type right what he says. I could just go ahead and go on Sal Capaccio's show and say, yo, yeah, you're right. Everything's good. But why can't I want more? Why is it that when I don't talk good about everything on this team, I'm a negative person? Why is it that I can't give you a different perspective?
Thank you.
Why is it that I have to do the same thing everybody else does? I don't want no single speak. The single brain thing is not for me. It's just not. Because I can ingest every podcast, everybody watches, and come here and regurgitate the same thing. And that's what people want sometimes. I'm not big upping people I haven't big upped a million times already. And for people to talk about Sean McDermott, I don't give a damn about Sean McDermott being a Bills coach no more. It's a point. The point is, we're not sure about Joe Brady. Stop bringing up Sean McDermott. He's gone. It's the essence of what McDermott had versus what we have now.
And we don't even know what we have now.
That's the thing.
We don't even know.
I just said the defense is going to be sweet, but I bet somebody's going to argue me with Terrell Bernard being good. I bet you're going to say he's not. I bet you're going to say Ed Oliver can't play a 4-eye. I bet you're going to say Landon Jackson's garbage. I bet you're going to do that. But in the same breath, you're going to say Keyshawn didn't say nothing about Kilgore, didn't say nothing about Benford, Hairston, Bishop, CJ GJ, Rousseau, Ed Oliver. Only person I didn't name was whoever freak is Bradley Chubb was only went out on this defense. I'm like, So big up what? Matter of fact, write my script. Tell me how you want me to say it.
Just write us a script and send it to us so we can just read it for 2 hours.
Because I just freaking told you the defense is set. So I'm supposed to be good? I can't want more on offense? Oh, but we're talking about Keon Coleman's garbage, right? We're talking about Khalil Shakir is not a number 2, right? Who the hell's the number 2? Who the hell's the number 1 tight end?
Yep.
But I'm supposed to big up what? I don't understand it. I don't get it. I'm supposed to big up. What do you want from me?
Right. That's really what it comes down to. At the end of the day, like I get that it's hard to hear that the team you love and root for may not be what you thought it was. And let's do this. Here's how we can show this, right? Because you came up with some very interesting research. Not come up, but you did some research and you presented this information in Discord chat. By the way, if you guys are not in Discord chat now, like we got so much stuff that just drops in Discord that we don't even get to on the show most times. So if you're missing that, you're really missing out. Again, it's $1.99 for the membership, and our email is in the description of this video. All you gotta do is sign up for the membership. You get a month free, and then after that, it's $1.99 a month. You email us, we give you the Discord chat link, and then you get access to all of the other content that we have there available for you. It's ever growing, it's ever increasing. So get in on that. But you came up with some, you found some research on Terry Gray that really became a magnifying glass on what this team has been doing for the last 8 years. And I found something to expound upon that with that I think is actually, pretty interesting in itself too. But can you just, if you could, just give us a brief overview of what you found on Terry Gray and what you believe that says about how this process has gone to this point?
Sure. Okay, so in a nutshell, I was asked to kind of expound upon the way the team is constructed now versus under McDermott versus under Bean and so on and so forth. It was really kind of an expose on how teams were constructed with McDermott in Philly versus Carolina versus Buffalo. So for that, I have to do some digging to really get for you. But I can tell you, Terry Gray, when it comes to his fingerprint on how he drafts, the things he looks at, Terry Gray's highest influence is wide receiver, believe it or not. He looks for explosiveness. He looks for separation ability, they say, competitive toughness, ball skills, yak creation, Z-slot versatility. How do we know this? Terry Gray's most notable wide receivers he scouted. If you're looking as far back as Minnesota, which he was there from 20. I don't remember. I know he had 2006 to 2017. Wide receiver wise, Stephon Diggs, Cordero Patterson were two guys that he really had his hand in. When it comes to the Buffalo Bills, Gabe Davis, Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, Justin Shorter. Now, Steph Diggs, Cordero Patterson, Keon Coleman, Gabe Davis, Justin Shorter. Do we see a similarity? There's a difference in ball game here. Mm-hmm. He came in and his first wide receiver was Gabe Davis after Brandon Bean and McDermott got their thing together. Mm-hmm. Gabe Davis being that first hit. Let's see. What is his secondary position that he has the highest influence in? Defensive back. Now, defensive back, what does he look for? He looks for length, press, utility, catch point disruption. He wants a guy with instincts, versatility, tackling floor, ball skills and processing in zone match structures. How do we know that? If you look at what he did in Minnesota, he was behind Harrison Smith, Xavier Rhodes, Trey Waynes, Mackenzie Alexander. In Buffalo, he was the architect behind Trey White, Tyron Johnson, Saran Neal, Christian Benford, and Cole Bishop. I don't know about you, but there's a little bit of a difference in the play styles for what he did in Minnesota versus Buffalo.
Yep.
If you're looking at the red flags, what he doesn't like, Terry Gray does not like defensive tackles that play nose tackle. He doesn't like the big boys unless they're explosive and can rush the passer. So if you're looking at McDonald from last year, that's why he's not here. You're looking at, Corleone. That's why he's not here. Yep. Because he doesn't like those big boys. And would he take them? Sure. But they got to have a secondary trait, an explosive trait to him, which he doesn't care for. Let's see. Defensive line, which is probably the third highest influence he's had in Minnesota. Everson Griffin, Danielle Hunter, Linval Joseph. Danielle Hunter and Everson Griffin, both four-time Pro Bowlers. Danielle Hunter is an elite edge. Buffalo, you're looking at Greg Rousseau, AJ Epinesa, Ed Oliver, and Dwayne Carter. Obviously, you got, you have your newer guys, which I didn't really put in there. But why don't I bring this up? Because you got that there, Danielle Hunter. Then you have what we have in Buffalo. Mm-hmm. Nothing anywhere near the same skill set. What does he look for? Most notably, bend, explosion. What happened? Where'd it go? And when people say McDermott or Bean or whatever the case may be, I don't care who it is. We got a new defensive coordinator, and it's still TJ Parker after Rousseau, after the guys that we've had in the past. It's the same archetype.
Mm-hmm.
So are we saying that Terry Gray came to Buffalo and said, you know what? Nah, never mind. I don't like that. It didn't work.
Right.
Everson Griffin didn't work. Daniel Hunter didn't work. Then the thing you got to realize is you got to look at what we're drafting, where we're drafting them. You know, his biggest influence is UDFAs, which we're knocking out of the park. Second back. Okay. Let me see. Draft room influence I have here. What he does. What has he done in Buffalo? He helps with the board construction and vertical stacking, cross-departmental integration, so analytics, sports science, pro scouting. His role clarity and traits-based evaluation, so he's looking for traits. He's a traits-based guy.
Mm-hmm.
Day two mastery, which we already know.
Mm-hmm.
Wide receiver, defensive back, and defensive line evaluation I just went over. So what is his highest trait? He looks for explosiveness. He likes length. He likes football character. He likes versatility, which we have hit on some of those. However, if you're looking at, who's in the Patriot? Dimitri.
I know. What's going on, man? How you been? So let's go. Patriots feeling real good right now. You should.
Hey, you should. You should. That's all good. You know, what is his board philosophy when he builds his board? He has role clarity over raw production. So he really says, what can they do? I don't care what they did in college, how good they were.
What can they do?
What can they do? And keep in mind, you got to be versatile because he likes versatility. So versatility and a role clarity. Traits-based evaluation. Clean, vertically aligned board. So he doesn't really get too murky. It's got to be, this is how we're doing it. He avoids redundancy unless ceiling is significantly higher. That's the one that got me. Avoids redundancy unless the ceiling is significantly higher. Avoids redundancy unless the ceiling is a significant higher level.
That don't sound like a Greg Rousseau and
AJ Epinesa to Rousseau to no.
To Landon Jackson.
To Landon Jackson. Yeah. To no.
Yeah.
But
so here's where Terry Gray came from. So Terry Gray before all of that was a part of an organization called Blesto. Okay. Blesto stands for Bears, Lions, Eagles, and Steelers Talent Organization. Now, what I found out is Blesto was started by those teams as a scouting organization that worked for those teams to compile data on juniors only. They wanted to try and be a year ahead of the competition. And so they created this organization to scout the juniors so that by the time that those juniors became seniors and they were going into the draft, they had all of that information compiled already, and they could kind of narrow down the playing field of who they should look at, who they shouldn't look at, based off of the grades from the juniors from their junior season going into their senior season.
Now that's interesting you say that, because in the article I put in there for J-Ham in the Discord, what did we say? Brandon Beane got Josh Allen. How?
Traded up for him.
Brandon Beane wasn't here in 2017 to do the evaluations.
Exactly.
Doug Whaley was.
Yep.
But Blesto is the year previous, which the Bills have said we've scouted. Jim Mono said we scout 2-3 years ahead.
I actually have, there's an article where Doug Whaley talks about his relationship with Blesto. So Doug Whaley did work with Blesto.
Yeah, he was in on that. Yeah. But see, the thing is, what I also uncovered, you know who scouted Josh Allen?
Who?
Joe Shane. Went to every freaking Wyoming game he could get his hands on. They say he was at every one. He had a man crush on Josh Allen.
Wow. So it really wasn't even Beane that just, and I think what we're trying to bring out here is there's a very small degree of philosophy shift between what we see in our most important picks and what we see in those diamonds in the rough that we end up with, right? And the smallest degree is Brandon Beane's influence, essentially.
Well, I ain't. Hold on, I gotta get this.
Go ahead.
I didn't say all that.
No,
I didn't say all that.
No,
I'm just saying
that.
I didn't say all that.
Although, if that was an option, why not?
Really? Mm-hmm.
Why not? I've liked the Giants drafts the last couple of seasons with Joe Shane as their GM.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't think it's been bad. Now they have had a lot of high picks.
They've been swinging. They've been swinging.
Right.
They make a lot of moves in the draft to try to get up and move back, and they do a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Thank you. And that's kind of so. I don't doubt that Joe Shane was part of that process of trading up for Josh Allen. Right. I really don't doubt that. So if we could have that here, right. Yeah, I'd do it. Shane Island doesn't.
You don't have that ring to it.
Of course not. But what's interesting about this is as much as we want to, go, Bean Island, it really has been everybody else but Brandon Bean that's brought in the best talent that we have here. Doug Whaley was responsible for guys like Trey White and Deion Dawkins. Joe Shane was responsible for Josh Allen. Terry Gray is responsible for all the Terrell Bernards of the world and all these other guys that, really, if you want to give Bean credit, you can give Bean credit for James Cook, but that's it. What else are you going to attribute to the first 3 rounds of this draft? I mean, Ed Oliver, sure. If you want to give him Ed Oliver, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if you're gonna sit here and say Christian Benford is a 6th round pick, but if you're looking at the first round picks in general, and we've already talked about this, we don't need to go. We've done the history already of all the first round picks and how they stack up versus all of the late round picks that the Bills have on the roster right now. There are significantly more late round picks on this roster than there are first round picks. Mm-hmm. That's just the God honest truth. Mm-hmm. And we're wondering if the next highest pick after the first round, a guy by the name of Keon Coleman, is going to amount to anything. We know Kyer Elam didn't. We're not sure if Dalton Kincaid will live up to his draft status or even his talent level. Greg Rousseau, we're waiting for a double-digit sack season from him. Yeah. These are real things in front of us right now, right? But people don't want to hear that. Oh, no. You got to up those players. You got to big up those players. Why? If they're not okay. I watched Joe Marino go through some of the contracts that these players have this year. Did you know that D. Alford is did I say that right? The corner, D. Alford. Mm-hmm. In his contract are incentives with if he gets 5 interceptions, he gets $500,000. Right? Same thing for CJ GJ. If he gets 5 interceptions, he gets $1.5 million. These things, and I told y'all this before. I told y'all these things exist in the contracts. Why do they exist in the contracts? Because they matter. You want to sit here and tell me sacks don't matter? It's about pressure. He was number 2 in pressures. Greg Rousseau I'm talking about. None of that stuff is in contracts. You don't put pressures in contracts.
That'd be crazy if you did.
It would be very crazy. It'd be extremely lucrative for Greg Rousseau if GMs did do that. You know how much money he'd be making right now if it was about pressures?
He's like, I'm gonna get close there.
Right. Except for the fact that it's not. So what are we left with after that? We're left with, we still got to big up this player. We still got to, that is the equivalent of, that's my child, so I got to big up them, and no matter what sport they play in, I don't care if they suck at all, that we still got to, you do that with your kids. You don't do that with grown men.
Right.
These players are used to being coached their whole life to be better. You don't big up those guys. They don't need that. They don't live off of that. What they live off of is, how can I get better, coach?
Yeah.
What can I do differently? And we're sitting here hoping and praying, literally, that things end up differently with this defense. Mm-hmm. And here we have the defensive coordinator telling everybody there's going to be some growing pains. Yeah. So what does that tell you? It may be just as bad as it was last year. It may not be bad. Or at the best case scenario is they're very good in the areas that they were bad in before, but they're as bad in the areas that we were good in before, in those areas this year, right? That's best case scenario.
Yeah. Because
they could just be slightly worse in everything because they're still adjusting and learning.
Yeah. The only thing I like about the transition and how they transition now is the fact that they're pretty much a young team that wasn't in McDermott's defense that much. You know, when you're talking about what drove me nuts, I don't know if you heard it, was Brandon Beane saying they knew that Javon Solomon wasn't a fit for the defense, but when he got drafted, it was too much to pass up. What do you mean you knew he wasn't going to fit in the defense? How do you know that?
Right.
Why didn't you? Why? I mean, maybe there was somebody that was going to be a fit. Why didn't he fit? Why is his nation leading sack numbers not translate at all to even getting on the field? Why is he not a pass rush specialist? Now, I know people are going to say because McDermott was closed-minded to that. Sure. But why didn't he get on the field? Because the coach didn't try. He didn't believe in him. He didn't want him.
Right.
You know, so when people say he had a 53 or he was in charge of it, he told you who he didn't like. You just have to look at it. Now, not that Leonard's here, I can see Solomon being that dude, but see, Buffalo is now mired and scarred by the fact this dude couldn't get on the field under McDermott. What's he gonna do now?
Right.
This dude could be a 10. He could be that 10-sack dude you was looking for the whole time.
Yep.
You know, why is it we got to be married to Bradley Chubb? What if we put Solomon out there? What if he's better than Chubb? Then what? Do we pull him out because we paid Chubb, or do we let him ride? What if he's better? What if Chubb is better than Rousseau, and Solomon's better than Rousseau as well? Do you pull him out, put him in, or do you let it ride because you paid the money? That's the thing. We don't pull the shoe. We never pull the shoe. You got to be right because we already made our decision. It's right.
Yep.
But everybody's wrong. Everybody makes mistakes, and it's okay. But how do you fix it is the question. Not putting a Band-Aid on it and saying let's ride. We going this way. Greg, you see it on the field. You ain't doing that. You want to get on the field, do that. If you can't, let me know. I'll get you out of here. Because when free agents come into Buffalo or any other market to say, I may sign with you, they don't ask, what can I do for you? They say, how you going to make me better? They say, what am I doing in your defense? What am I doing in your offense? What are my numbers going to look like? What do you envision me doing here? Because I'm not going to waste my time. I can go elsewhere and get paid, but I want to be a player.
Yeah.
But see what happens for years in Buffalo is guys say, I just want to do whatever I can to help this team win. I don't want to hear nobody else say that.
Thank you.
I got no more for that.
Football Pro says Tommy the constant bashing of these two guys takes is getting old. Put your hot takes on your own show instead of ruining this one with your constant snarky comments. Just so everybody's clear, like Tommy's a friend of the show and we debate a lot. I will say this to Tommy though. Just because you say it a million times doesn't mean it's right. And his mindset is his mindset. Like Tommy has been consistent since I've known him. Yeah. He believes what he believes and you're not going to shake him out of that. Like that's just how I get it. And that's fine. But at some point, you do have to be open to reason.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about Tommy and this is no bash on Tommy part right here, but the thing about Tommy is his mindset and his ideology is rooted on Josh Allen, whether you know it or not, because we've been good for years. We know we've been deficient, but Josh Allen's been good. James Cook came into his own. Right. Khalil Shakir has been out there killing himself, getting yak yard after yak yard after yak yard. So it looks like we're excellent.
Right.
We're firing out, but we're not. Tommy's never said it can't get no easier, but he won't admit that they're not doing everything they can. Tommy will say they pulled out, look at DJ Moore, look at this sign and look at that sign, but the Patriots just got AJ Brown.
Right.
The Rams just got Myles Garrett. Did they need him? No.
They didn't.
But they said something ain't working.
Right.
We traded our number one draft pick from 2 years ago because something ain't working. We just got to the NFC Championship and something ain't working.
Yep.
But we're sitting here saying, just keep kicking at the door. We'll be all right. Keep kicking at the door.
And listen, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with saying the team is good. They've won 10 plus games every season.
Yeah.
But to say that, like what we're saying and what he's arguing are two completely different things. Yeah. We're not even arguing that the team isn't good.
I never say that.
Right. Neither one of us has sat here and said the team is not good. And every single time we talk about Brandon Beane and the quality of the draft picks and all, he takes it as we're saying the team is not good.
Of Beane's trash.
No, it's not the case.
But can you be better?
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. This show is built on how do we get better? So that's why I took exception to when Dane said, big up players, not because I don't want to, but because it shows about how do we keep getting better.
And
I want more.
Exactly. And here's case in point. The reason we brought up the Terry Gray research, or the reason I brought it up and wanted to talk about it is I thought Terry Gray could do no wrong.
Yeah.
And here we are. Right now, I'm reading this research that you came up with, and I'm like, oh no, I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. I'd rather him get the job in Minnesota for all of that. Like, let him go over there. Because damn all of that. Like, I couldn't get Kane McDonald because of this. I couldn't get Dante Corleone because of this.
I'm not okay with any of this.
Like, no. Screw being great in the last 4 picks, 4 rounds of the draft. Like, if I get rounds 1, 2, and 3 good, bro, I will be fine. I will be just fine. And I'd be well accepting of we only get 3 draft picks in a year because we got a first, second, and third, and they're producers. That's it. And then you go to free agency and say, you know what? I still need something. Thank you. I still need something. You know, Solomon's not really showing me. I got to give him some competition. He might be all right, but I don't know. Oh man, jeez, Richie Fresh says this is me getting pissed. Verse 1, 2, 3, and the Bills couldn't get him. Miss me with that crap. At some point, you have to go for broke. Worst part is being clowned the Rams a few years back. Now look. Nah, see, that's the thing. We did go for broke. We are broke. I mean, you said somewhere we got to go for broke. We did. Yeah. Getting rid of Sean McDermott was absolutely going for broke. That and Chubb and Moore and that's the Buffalo version of going for broke. And no, Richie, I see that's the misconception. I am on board with you. So when my friend tells me, "Key, you cheap," no, I want to get out of this cap crap so I can go get somebody. Wouldn't it be nice to say, AJ Brown's out there? What do we do? If we miss on it because we couldn't top Jared Verse, fine. Right. But I don't want to sit here and say, we're below in 29 and we got to. No, I don't want to push. There's no lever for Deion Dog. They brought Deion. There's no lever. Yep. He gives you $11 million and then you got to put him for another year. There's no lever. If the only player on this team that ends up showing any difference in culture from what Sean McDermott had here ends up being CJ Gardner-Johnson, and that's it, then we know that CJ Gardner-Johnson is just the token. Yeah. Like he's the anecdote to what the Bills, or what I should say, what Brandon Beane truly wants to do here, right? Because one of the things that we said right after they fired Sean McDermott right after they hired Joe Brady was, you really didn't want to change everything. You just wanted Sean McDermott out. Mm-hmm. That's really all it boils down to. And you what you did is you scrounged together as many reasons or justifications as you could to get rid of him so that Bills Mafia would be soured against him and accept anything else you do after that. Yeah. And then to reinforce that, you go and get CJ Gardner-Johnson to show, hey, we got different culture, guys, different type of culture. There's a younger guy. He's loud. Like what? Yeah, I mean, no other franchise was saying this about CJ Gardner-Johnson. No other franchise is saying, well, yeah, he's loud. Like he's only loud here. What other Chicago? Nobody was saying he's loud there. Why? Because it's Chicago. Yeah. It's loud people as soon as you walk out the door. Yeah, I mean, I just saw him the other day. I'm like, I don't know how loud he could be. He seemed very polite to me. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, to Roy, I'm still mad about Ogunjobi being on the books. Shut up. Don't tell my secrets. But no, I mean, to who was it? To somebody said, Walter. He said, we don't have a Verse-like player to match the Rams trade. Even a guy like Gruden has been on a rookie deal like Verse isn't enough to get that done. I don't know, because you think about Jared Verse's first year, he had 4 sacks. Last year, he had 7.5. Greg Rousseau's first year, he had 4 sacks. And his second year, he had 8. Mm-hmm. Verse is high on pressures, which you're not. But I think they said Verse in the last 2 years, he's number 3 in the league in pressures. Absolutely. Yeah, so they're the same type of player. That's what I'm saying. Rushers. So without the money and having 3 more years, because let me explain something. Jared Verse, his contract hit for the next 3 years, 2 years,
is $2 million. $2 million for Jared Verse for 2 years. And then he's going to make $45-50 million.
That's right.
But at that point, you have decisions to make. Okay, I got this up and comer right here, who we know is an up and comer.
Mm-hmm.
I got to clear some space in 2 years to give him that money because he's going to deserve it.
Right.
But now we're trying to play chicken in the egg because we need something, and the guy already makes the money. We got to get the guy. So like DJ Moore, I'm going to keep using that as my example. He had this huge contract, fell out of favor with Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson, and whatever the case may be. So the Bills like, second round draft pick, bet. I mean, I don't know who else was asking, what he was worth, who else was a suitor for him.
They weren't.
And that's the thing.
Nobody was looking to trade for DJ Moore because everything coming out of Chicago was they're going to cut him. The reason the Bills did that is they didn't want to. They were worried about having to pay more than what's he making this year? 24.
Who's that?
DJ Moore.
Yeah, it's like 24.
Yeah, they didn't want to have to pay more than the $24 million that he was set to make. That's really what it came down to. That's why they traded for him so that they could lock him into that contract and take advantage of that clause in there that allowed them to convert the money to the signing bonus and get his number down to like 17 million or something like that this season. That's why they wanted that contract.
I'm not hating on DJ Moore. I just use him as an example because he's the one that we brought in with a high contract hit.
Let's get to this super chat here. Richie Fresh back with another one. Appreciate you, bro. Says the Rams have a hell of a GM then because they went for it and won a Super Bowl, and now they're still a powerhouse team. Not saying we have a crap team, but we rely on 17 way too much. We still go to Super Bowl 61, by the way. I'm with you on that one, bro. Listen, well said, first and foremost. Because it's not about upping the Rams or downing us to up the Rams. What I'm saying is, why haven't the Bills been able to make moves like that? They haven't been able to make moves like that because they signed Von Miller for $120 million.
While you make that point, I just want to put this because you're answering the question right here while you're talking. So go ahead. Keep talking.
Dank from earlier, your comment from earlier, why didn't we get Clint, or why didn't we sign Clint, or did we not have the money to sign Clint, or was something like that? Coaches' contracts are all paid directly from the owner. There is no salary cap on coaches' salaries. So if Terry Pegula wanted to pay Clint Kubiak double what the Raiders were willing to pay him, he could have. There's no restriction on coaches' contracts whatsoever. You can pay a coach as much as you want to pay him to come and get him to coach your team.
Yeah.
But with that being said,
everybody's talking about, McDermott went and Diggs out. I just want to know why he wanted Diggs out. That's my thing. Why did he want Diggs out? And furthermore, we know Diggs didn't want to play in that offensive scheme.
Mm-hmm.
McDermott signed off on the offensive scheme because
100%.
It was his offensive coordinator he hired. Josh Allen was cool with it. And Diggs gonna be brookies. Marcus, do you guys think we're gonna make a move for somebody? Maybe Diggs come back. I mean, is that a move? Like for me, is that like I want to be careful with seeing a move because when I hear move, I'm thinking like a splash. An acquisition. Sure, we're gonna pick somebody else. Who I don't know. But I just don't know who it's going to be or what it's going to be or where it fits. Because we just got rid of Tom Zach from Youngstown State and signed this wide receiver from Kansas City or whatever, is a 4.39 speed guy. Mm-hmm. He's not okay. We didn't need a press release for that. I don't know who the guy is. He's probably not gonna, if he makes this team, I am going to lose my mind.
Yo, there's no way he can make the team.
I'm going to lose my mind if he makes this team.
No way. They are going to try to stash this dude on a practice squad like they do with everybody. Sam, what you talking about? Oh, and the OC got fired. What, from when Diggs was there? Listen, Dorsey shouldn't have been an OC to begin with. After Leslie Frazier left the team, and let's be clear about that, Leslie Frazier left the team because all of the stuff that was going on behind the scenes. I've already reported on that. You can go back and watch those episodes to find out. But after Leslie Frazier left the team, who else was left for Sean McDermott to kind of, pawn the blame off on? Special teams coordinator was already gone. Defensive coordinator left. Dayball was already gone. There's nobody else to bang on. Mm-hmm. Nobody. Mm-hmm. So at that point, and here's the other part of this. what other coaches want to come from other teams to work in an atmosphere like that? By that point in Sean McDermott's career, everybody knew how it was in the building, right? I reported this too. Like every minority in the front office, when Leslie Frazier left, every minority in the front office left that same year. They had it. They weren't going to stay there when the only other black coach that was of any significance on the coaching staff left. They weren't going to deal with that.
They had the snitch state.
Right. They bounced. Right. So the point I'm trying to make in all of this is this idea that Stephon Diggs, left and the OC got fired or whatever the case is. Stephon Diggs did not. He tried to tell everybody that had ears that the offense wouldn't work the way that they were trying to use him. And guess what? He was right.
He was right. Because
when they started using him the way they wanted to use him, he wasn't productive in that way. And that's what he was worried about. And then what happens? He goes and he's productive with the very next team he's on, showing you he wasn't a problem.
And then the team after that.
And then the team after that, he wasn't a problem.
And what they start calling him? The rookie quarterback whisperer, the youthful quarterback whisperer.
So again, I don't know how, it's literally like we have to force the horse's face into the water to get our credibility established for people to just understand we know what the hell we're talking about. You can disagree all you want. It doesn't make you right. We're supporting everything that we're saying with provable fact.
Yeah.
And I don't deal with interpretation. I deal with what's provable and scientific conclusion, right? You go through the process of doing the research, you consider all the options, and you break it all down, and whatever you're left with ends up being the truth. I don't deal with an opinion. Mm-hmm. I will have an opinion. I will have a take or a perspective on something. And most times those are debatable. But if I'm reporting to you that Stephon Diggs, I had sources close to Diggs at the time, Stephon Diggs is not happy with the offense. And the same thing that Sean McDermott did to LaShawn McCoy, he did to Stephon Diggs, right? I LaShawn McCoy told y'all this on Speak on ESPN. He told the story about Sean McDermott pulling him into the office and asking him to, telling him he's got to step it up. And LaShawn McCoy going, how you expect me to step it up when you got 5 bums in front of me blocking from me? Like, that's basically what he said. And I'm paraphrasing what he said.
LaShawn McCoy, he probably said like
how you expect me to step it up? You got these bums blocking in front of me. I can't run nowhere. I can't go nowhere, right? And what happened? LaShawn McCoy was gone that very next season. Now we have the Stephon Diggs situation. Stephon Diggs steps up. He's got a problem with it. Stephon Diggs, the nature of Stephon Diggs' stardom in Buffalo and stardom in the league made him an influential figure in the locker room. Sean McDermott doesn't play those kind of games. He got Shady out. He was damn sure going to get Diggs out. Then he did. Mm-hmm. But that's why Diggs was gone. It wasn't because Diggs was a bad guy. Diggs ended up being right.
Right.
Just the same way that we ended up being right after all this. We told everybody for 3 years Sean McDermott was part of the problem. He needed to go. Mm-hmm. We told people for 3 years this whole regime needed to go. Mm-hmm. And we're sitting here trying to basically tell you the same exact thing that we've been saying for the entirety of the time that we've been doing this show. This front office, this coaching staff, like everybody's got to go. Start over.
Needs an overhaul. Yep.
Right.
And the best thing you can do right now is do what you got, Josh Allen. That's the best thing you can do.
Because whoever comes in as the coach is going to have some success.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Brady's going to win games.
Yeah.
We're not saying
that.
like that's unavoidable.
And then timestamp this. They're going to say, you guys are wrong. We told you. I told you 13-4.
Sure did.
But I also didn't say Super Bowl. And I thought that's what we were here for.
Yep. Here's the other thing too. Part of the reason why we got so heavy into this trade that the Rams have made is the desire for AJ Brown for the Patriots. And I don't know what they're doing with Kayshon Boutte.
Can we have him?
Right.
Can we have him?
Right. Because
I would shut up if they did that.
They screwed that up badly. Kayshon Boutte was coming on for them last year as a young up-and-coming receiver that they could rely upon.
Dude, he was the number one. He was a top draft pick, except his attitude was the issue.
Right.
Out of LSU. And guess what? I ain't heard nothing since. Can we have him?
Exactly. Let's trade Josh Palmer for Keyshawn.
Oh, yeah.
That would be dope. And it's June 1st already. I'd do it immediately. But part of the reason why the A.J. Brown trade for the Patriots is so significant is they already had an established receiver there that was doing big things last season for them, showing chemistry with their quarterback. And you add into that now a bona fide number one receiver to kind of shove Keyshawn Boutte into that perfect 1B, 2A type of role where now he can flourish against another team's second best corner. He's not going against their best outside corner now. He's gonna produce more. He's gonna have better numbers. That's what we want here, right? And instead of trying to do what the Rams did and just go overboard to make sure we have overwhelming amounts of talent, we say Josh Allen is enough. He'll be able to elevate everybody else. We don't have to go that far.
Yeah.
You're trying to win a Super Bowl with the bare minimum, basically, is what you're trying to do.
Yeah. We're a couple comments. Yeah, I mean, Boutte, he still got what a year this season. He's an unrestricted free agent. If you get in on that, get him in the system. If you like it, you like Josh, we can work something out. And that's where we need to be. We want to see somebody get in here and get some chemistry. Because if you had if you could figure out a way to get Boutte, you could get Khalil Shakir, you get Shavers, you get Coleman, you get Bell. Now we're talking.
Yep. Because
3 of those 5 are going to be it. And then you add, if you have to, you add in your DJ Moore. But see, I won't scream about that because it won't be a mass. That's seasoning. Mm-hmm. He's not the entree. He's the seasoning. Now he's the main event. He's the entree. And if you take him out, we still got the Happy Meal. We still got the starter, the hors d'oeuvres, just enough to get you ready for the main course that's never going to come. And I think that's the thing that really irks me, because a guy like Keyshawn, when you see they get Mac Hollins, Stephon Diggs, they bring in what's the guy, Dobbs, they bring in now AJ. First thing I'm doing is, I don't really want him. What y'all doing?
Romeo Dobbs and AJ Brown. We don't even have to talk about Keyshawn Boutte.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, I don't need him.
Like, before we even get to Keyshawn Boutte, you got to go through Romeo Dobbs and AJ Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do we even have enough coverage people for this? Like literally, okay. Let me just get to this comment real quick. Tommy says, but how does that go back to the GM when the head coach is scheme and vision is what the issue, not the players? So when it comes to the Diggs trade, the reason that the GM has something to do with that is he traded him.
Yeah.
He went ahead and traded him. He didn't say, look, this dude's on the books.
Right.
I'm not messing up the salary cap because you got an issue with him. Work that ish out.
This is your second best player.
Right. Work that ish out. What he did is exactly what Sean wanted him to do. Now, at the time, I was under the impression for years that Sean McDermott was the one running the whole show. Why? Because Terry Pegula said it's Sean's show.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When the reality of it is, according to Sean McDermott's contract, and who was this? I want to get the person that reported it. Who's the guy that does the show with Tyler Dunn?
Manos.
Yeah, Jim Manos was the one that reported this on Tyler Dunn's podcast that they do together. That because Jim Manos was there when Sean McDermott was doing his contract negotiation, so he knows. And what he said was it's part of Sean McDermott's contract that he's in control of the 53. Now, Sean McDermott asked for this specifically. He wanted to control the 53. Whoever's on the team, I'm in control of who makes the team.
Right.
Okay, cool. But I'm paying these players. I'm making sure these players, the guys that you have to choose from,
yep,
are paid accordingly.
Yep.
Right. And listen, Stephon Diggs wasn't an issue here at all, aside from maybe 2 things here in Buffalo. None of it had to do with the police. All of it was this and talking stuff about the offense and how it wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
And in neither situation was he wrong. And because of that, your head coach went to your GM and said, trade him. And instead of your GM having the balls to say, turn around, Sean, and go back out the door because I'm not doing any of that. He did it.
Yeah, I mean, and Tommy said here, he said if what do you say? Come on, I can get here. He said if Bean told McDermott no way, then they would have a problem. They already had a problem.
Right, they had
a rift before that.
According to reports, after Sean McDermott was fired, they had been having beef since 2, maybe 3 years before Diggs was kicked out, right? And I think a lot of that has to do with the thought process on the players that were being drafted and signed.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. Knowing what we know, what we now know about Sean McDermott, he was used to having better talent.
Yeah, and I think that to keep that thought, because I think that goes back to Tommy's other question, and he said, well, basically he said, what can you do when the GM gets you players and the head coach gets rid of them? It's because he didn't like them. He didn't want them. Right. And that's what I said earlier. Like that tells you right there, I don't like this guy. Try again.
Thank you.
Oh, you keep bringing this dude? He's not playing.
Nope.
Don't care. I'm in charge of 53. You just keep bringing me these bums, I guess you'll call them.
Oh, he didn't want Wyatt Teller? Well, look, if he's trying to run a specific offense, or if he knows that his offensive coordinator is trying to run a specific offense, and this power run guy is not going to fit my zone scheme, which is why they got rid of Wyatt Teller. Like, Cleveland ran a power scheme. That's why Wyatt Teller was good there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part that doesn't get talked about. And we haven't really talked about it all like that. Mm-hmm. We criticized the move because Wyatt Teller's good.
Right.
But he wasn't a scheme fit, regardless of what people want to talk about. But my point in bringing that up is the reason Sean McDermott had the right to say no, not on my team, is because it was in his contract to dictate who makes the team. He had a vision for what he was trying to do, and now we know that the GM the entire time had his own vision for what he was trying to build. So who's really winning at that point in time? And how is that helping the team at all when you've got a GM that's trying to get the players he likes in the door and your head coach? And listen, Sean told everybody what he thinks of these players when they asked him point blank. Yeah. Is this a Super Bowl roster?
I love the guys.
I love these guys.
Sir, we didn't ask you that. Can they win or not? I love them.
I love these guys.
That's like what he said, bless his heart.
I really do, man.
Every black person, bless their heart. That mean they touched a little bit. That mean they got a little bit of a deficiency. Bless his heart. Don't ask me again.
Right. So, I mean, look.
And it you keep going, but this is not to say McDermott we're vindicating McDermott. This is not to say we wish he would have got a fair shake. This is to say that it's more than meets the eye. It's not on or off. It's not black or white. It's gray.
Mm-hmm.
It's gray. And what I will give Bean credit for, and this is you're right. Well, you got all these nicknames, Nate. I don't even know. He said we're all touched. I don't even know all these nicknames you keep coming up with, but I think for McDermott and Bean, the lockstep wasn't there after 2022, we'll say. The lockstep was gone. And I think I like messing with Bean because of Tommy at this point. I don't really care for Bean, but it really intensifies it because Tommy loves him so much.
100%.
But what I'm getting at is maybe Bean will be better with a coach that agrees with him. Maybe Bean will be better with somebody that isn't combative and doesn't have a voice yet, that doesn't fight with him. Maybe Bean will be better just based on the fact that he's been through something before.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I don't want to have is Bean to be marred by the Stephon Diggs. We can't have that no more because that's what we're going through. We can't have that. That's what we're going through. Jim Leonard said, I want CJ GJ. If he was a menace to society, like you said, he's not. He's loud. Wow, that's what football players are. Have you ever been on the football field before? It's a holy terror down there. That's right. The stuff that they say, I'm like, yo, who's he talking to?
Yep.
But in Buffalo, you can't do that. You have to be polite. You got to be. I saw somewhere where it was Josh Allen, really how he talks to the players. I was rolling. I was gonna put it in Discord, but I didn't hear Dorothy saying you always talking about Josh Allen negative. I didn't feel like going through it. I'm gonna keep this to myself.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, if you're looking at this regime now, maybe they are best buddies. Maybe they do believe in everything each other one believes in, and it will work because they're all like. But to say McDermott and Bean, it was no McBean after the first 4 years. It was Bean. Okay, I'm feeling myself now. I got executive of the year twice. I know what I'm doing. And McDermott said, "You still on board? What the hell's going on? Why are you doing this now?
Right.
I thought you were on board. What are we doing?" I mean, because you brought that up. I never heard that, but when you said he made that phone call, it's like, what was the context of are we still on board? Or are you still on board?
Yeah, that's what I like. I wasn't able to find out what that was about, but it does make perfect sense now.
Yeah.
For Sean McDermott to call Brandon Beane and ask him, "Are you still on board?"
Like, what the hell's going on? we didn't talk about none of this.
Right. And the reports from people in the building was that was a very loud and heated conversation that multiple people, like you could hear it throughout the building. It was so loud that they were arguing over the phone.
Napoleon and who they say Napoleon and Marv. No, Napoleon and Ralph. That's what it was.
Yeah.
You know? So I mean, that's it's levels, and that's why like when we report stuff, when people report stuff, I want to know what the context is, because it sounds like we know this is what it is, but then when you think about it, you start going in retrospect, you're like, what did that actually mean?
Right.
What was the relationship? When did they realize that Joe Brady, whose offense regressed, who couldn't develop a wide receiver to save his life, is now the head coach? Because we see it's like they drafted the last 2 years for this defense.
Yep.
Before we even had this, he's like, we know we're doing something. We just don't know what yet.
We're going somewhere.
Right. But this dude is not going to be here much longer.
Correct.
Brady, get your shoes laced up. You're going in, champ. You know, it's tough, because I don't want to sit here and say Beane was just the Antichrist, and I definitely don't want to say McDermott was, but it was just a horrible marriage. And this is the last that I thought of before I go. I was listening to GR this morning, and they were like, "Well, what would you do?" I can't believe I'm saying this. What would you do if Sirianni and all of that over there gets fired, and McDermott jumps in that job and he beats the Chiefs for a Super Bowl?
For what team?
The Chiefs, or for the Eagles. So if Sirianni gets fired, because McDermott wants to go back there.
Yeah.
He becomes a head coach.
Oh.
They play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, he wins.
I could see it happening too. I
I'm like,
bro.
Snap.
Yeah.
Like, would your nose collectively bleed? Would your cranium collapse? Where would you be if that happened? I have 3 minutes left. I know we had a little blowout, but let's end it on a good note. What would you do? Would you be like, well, charge it to the game? Or would you say, why didn't he do it here? Or would you say, well, I don't know, because I'd be tight. I'd be tight.
Black Panther says they both should have been fired. McDermott was right. It's not a Super Bowl roster. And that's fine. Listen, saying it's not a Super Bowl roster is not saying the team is bad. It's just saying the team is not Super Bowl caliber yet.
Yeah, they're not there
and
yet.
I don't think any coach on this team would sit there and say, like, candidly, yeah, this is a Super Bowl roster. I think they would say exactly what they've been saying in the press conferences. We need to figure out who we have right now first. Before we even start thinking about playoffs, we need to figure out who we have right now. That's really the bottom line. So, I mean, I don't know.
Tommy said he'd ruin their defense. That'd be tough, but maybe.
I don't know about that.
That'd be tough to do.
They
just run head up. They do the most basic stuff with all the talent they have. Just go do whatever. Quinyon Mitchell and Deshaun back up. You're gonna attack and get it. Because look at how Josh Norman played. He played in that soft zone and he went and got the ball.
Mm-hmm.
It could be done with guys that are aggressive. I think Max Harrison would actually flourish in the McDermott defense just because of speed.
Yeah.
You know, because McDermott's back up, but attack it when you see it. Harrison's got 4.2 speed. Yeah. I'm going to get that ball.
Right. Tori has brought up the 13 seconds game twice now. I think the first time was up here. Nope. That was here. It says Beane had us a championship team. McDermott was a joke. 13 seconds, fellas. Well, again, this is why we say fire the whole regime, because you can't say that only Beane had us a championship team. Like, McDermott is still responsible for coaching and developing those players to get to the place where they got. Like, it wasn't Brandon Beane on the field like, all right, guys, come on, we're gonna run this 4-3 under, and we're gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want 7 yards. Like, that wasn't Brandon Beane. Brandon Beane wasn't there for only the good games. He was there for the bad games too. Brandon Beane was there for the Vikings loss here at home. Brandon Beane was there for the playoff loss to the Texans. Brandon Beane was there for all of it. Yeah. Right? So if you're going to try to give being the credit, but take credit away from Sean McDermott, you're fooling yourself.
Yeah,
you can't take one away from the other.
I mean, the thing is, we're talking about the team, but once again, championship team, or is it championship scenario with Josh Allen catching lightning in a bottle?
Yeah,
James Cook catching lightning in a bottle. Khalil Shakir going ham out there. See, I'm big upping. Don't say I never did. But how many All-Pros do we have? How many Pro Bowlers have we had? How many players do we have on a Hall of Fame track in the last 10 years of drafting? In the last 10 years of free agency? I mean, you've acquired players that were already on a Hall of Fame trajectory, Von Miller, but how many guys have you cultivated, developed, and brought through? And that's where I'm looking at. What is our pipeline?
How many? Here's the question that's really going to shake everybody's foundation in the Bills currently. How many Bills players under this regime are going to end up statistically better than the Bills teams from the 90s? Because that's what we're really talking about now. Like Thurman Thomas, Andre Reed, you go look at their stats, the Hall of Fame level talent.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Smith, Hall of Fame level talent. Like there were a bunch of guys on that team. That team was stacked. That's where we're trying to get back to as a roster.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you and I want on the roster, is stacked guys like that with Hall of Fame level careers. How many Bills players over the last 8 years, by the time they're done playing the game in this day and age, will have statistics better than those guys in the 90s?
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
Right now, you're only on track for one. Everybody else is going to be a forgotten name, or they're going to be just a town-wide name like Stevie Johnson. Stevie Johnson was, at the time, the first Bills receiver to have consecutive back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons.
And guess who else did it?
Stephon Diggs went and did it 3 times in a row.
He was going to be the best wide receiver in Bills history if he would have stayed here another year.
By a country mile.
Yeah, he would have had Andre Reed beaten every metric. Pre-salary cap. Yeah, definitely pre-salary cap. And that's that. And what does that tell you? That was pre-free agency as well. So that means what you had is what you had. You had to draft out of this world.
Exactly.
So there's two sides to this coin.
Yep.
And yeah, but Cook. I say Cook and Josh as well.
Yep. I agree with that.
But there's a third one you're missing. You're missing Reese T. Reese T is Hall of Fame undefeated. Never been a bad cup. Why? Because it's healthy, refreshing, and it's delicious. What do I know? I don't drink tea. Maybe I will after this. I'm getting older. And I did start to tunnel in the gym. Reese certainly has some kind of ingredient, some kind of electrolyte in it. Damaris, electrolytes. Let's add them. Make it a sports drink too.
Sports tea.
Yeah.
Sports tea.
Think about it. You in the corner of the market. Nobody's doing this. Damaris is sports tea. But anyway, what do I know? See for yourself. You won't be disappointed. Get yourself the case. I'm not even saying individual anymore because by this time you know better. But let them know over at Reese Tea that Postpodiumpodcast sent you, and be blessed.
All right, let's hit it. Okay, man, this was my brain hurts after this episode. I gotta say that
my brain's gonna hurt later because they've been doing me dirty at the job.
But nevertheless, we'd love to continue this conversation with you in the Discord chat. Those of you who are members already, you want to keep having this conversation, let's do it. You already know we go as long as you go, right? With that being said, if you like what you saw and you like what you heard, or if we were just entertaining to some degree to you and you enjoy that aspect of the show, go ahead and give us a like. If you want to take it a step further and you really enjoy what we do and you want to see more and you want to see us more consistently, you got to hit that subscribe button. That keeps us on your homepage whenever you log into YouTube, and we'll be there for you whenever you're there for us, okay? One more thing that you can do to help us out. One more thing that you can do to help us out and help yourself even more is you can hit that bell, right? That little bell right there on the side. Hit that bell, make that thing
ring like a lane,
so that you can get notifications when we send notifications like No Show Friday. Keys already put it out there that we did talk about going down to one show for a little bit, and I think we're at that place now. It's already June 1. Teams have already made their moves. We've talked about that today. So No Show Friday, and we're probably going to go down to one show until August, maybe like mid-August, summer, basically training camp. But we will let you know. You won't know that unless you got that bell on and you're getting our notifications whenever we put something in the post section of our page or whenever new content drops. That's how you get notified. So definitely make sure you tap into our inner circle, our membership there, right? Because we got some new content coming out. I apologize to the members for not getting that out sooner. I ran into some equipment issues in the recording process of the video, but I will be getting to the editing process tomorrow night, and then I should have that out by Wednesday or Thursday, one of those 2 days. And that's going to keep coming on a weekly basis. We also got post-podium conversations going into membership content only. Okay, so if you like that show and you want to catch that, you got to be a member to catch that. Also, I'm going to be doing one of those this coming Saturday as well. Okay, so I'm sorry, no, Sunday. I'm gonna do it. Saturday's a whole different day. Anyway. With that being said, this has been the Postpodium Podcast, home of y'all truth, no sodium takes. I've been your co-host, Aramis.
And Tommy, nobody hates you. And we're going to build this badge twice as hard on Mondays because we only get one shot at this thing. But it's 40 keys. See y'all later.
No doubt. Yep. Tommy's a friend of the show. We love you, bro. Have a good show. That's it. We out. Peace.